Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hot Pudge IG Live. I'm your host, Pudge Fernandez. Happy second lockdown. Yes, live from the second lockdown. Not the first lockdown, not the third lockdown. This is the second lockdown. You know there's going to be a third lockdown. It's only a matter of fucking time. I swear to God, I don't know what it is with the mayor and the governor. They may hate each other, but they both hate us equally. Because it's like every other day, every other week, they're making a new announcement. We're going to lock down the clubs. We're going to lock down the bars. We're going to lock down the lodges. We're going to lock down the gyms. Every freaking, I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the lockdown, is what I'm saying. Anyway, aside from that, doing pretty good. Got all the IGs going on today. Went out to work out today. It hasn't been a total loss. At least I lost like 30 pounds over the lockdown. That's about the only plus side. 30 pounds actually, which is supposed to be, it sounds good. It's 30, it sounds like, yeah, I lost 30 pounds. Sounds awesome. But it's not good when you gained 20. So it's like I gained 20 and I lost to 30. So basically I'm back where I started before the lockdown. So it's kind of ass backwards, but I'm working on it. So yeah, slowly but surely, you know how I do. Anyway, we got a special guest today, like always. Forward to talking to him. I was supposed to have him on a few months ago. Unfortunately, I had to do that little postponement. But here he is.
Hey!
The one and only Andrew Ian Bayroff.
What is going on, sir? You look good. You look 10 pounds lighter.
Thanks. You did the math.
Right up here, my friend. It's all in this gear box.
I want to feel so good about myself, but it's so semi-retarded that I gained, I went up and then dropped back, and I'm back where I started, but I'm still going to keep going, so.
You should.
Yeah, I am. I got no choice. I mean, they're taking everything away from us, so all I got left is doing laps in the park and Instagram Live.
Yo, Nico, what's up? Good to see you.
Good, man. Good.
Nice, like that. Who needs VR? We're all good. I got a nickname now. You look good though, man. I haven't seen it a little bit. The 15th lockdown is screwing me up. I don't get to see all my favorite people.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, we're in lockdown number 2. Who knows when the third one starts? You're just playing it by ear like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Just winging it.
I'm getting stuff done though. You know, I like producing like you are, like all our comedy friends. You know, I like the fact that the New York comics and a lot of comics around the country are shifting gears. Yeah. Like, okay, I can't do the club, let me do video. I can't do video, let me get new headshots. I can't do that. They're spreading their wings and doing stuff that they would have never done before. And that, they're not just comics, they're creatives. And they're like, let me write a book, let me do video, let me do sketches, you know, let me try learning the guitar. You know, they're expanding themselves.
That's exactly what I've been saying. It's like I've always known that as comedians, we are artists. I mean, we kind of know that, but it didn't really come out till the pandemic hit and we got shut down. And now they took our art away from us, per se. Yeah. And it's like, what do we have? And we were all forced to just change directions or just create something else. And that's what we're doing. I mean, yeah, I got like you said, everything we wouldn't have been doing before because we would have been so much. Yeah, it's like
what we would have done, but it's also we didn't have time to do it because you and I both know, and Nico and all the other comics, we're running to this show, we're running to that show. Oh, cool! I got a feature headline.
I got to write.
Oh shit! I just got a headlining gig. I got to write a new half hour because it's a corporate whatever. I'm flying to L.A., Houston. I'm going to London. But for 2020, I was adamant on doing more road work. I was going to go to Jersey. I was going to go to Connecticut, New Hampshire, Boston, go back down to Houston, maybe go to London. But, you know, we all know how that happened. But it's like that old Twilight Zone. There was time now.
Time stopped.
And now it's kind of like, oh, wait, unfortunately, my 10 gigs just got canceled. But now I can write that one-man show that I wanted to do. Now I could actually connect with some friends I haven't seen in a while, you know, and just because it's not comedy, you know what I mean? It's creative. Like that creativity is that big umbrella, right?
And it feeds me. it
Yeah.
feeds me. It makes me feel almost like I'm not missing the stage that much.
I mean, we are missing the stage, but the stage is this. The
Right, right,
stage is
right,
me doing, review. Like, hey, I'm doing movie reviews, or you're doing your stuff. Like, hey, I'm doing all
right.
science stuff, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a different world, and for me, it's kind of like, okay, March, April, May, June, July. Oh my God, I needed to come out of this having done something.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people. They're like, oh no, I haven't been doing much. I mean, you've been
And
locked in your apartment for since March. They're like, I rearranged the furniture.
I've said this since day one, and you can look back at my Instagram lives from the beginning. When I thought it was going to be over by now, but obviously it isn't. But I'm saying I can't wait to the other side of this, because it's going to be dog eat dog. Nothing's going to be the same, and I want to see who comes out of it, hit the ground running, and who thinks they're still, things are going to change. And yes, I have a 1-year plan, because I know we're going to, it's going to go into the spring. But yeah, like basically April is kind of my 1 year of launching this stuff.
Yep.
And so far, I've got the Instagram live. I created a YouTube channel.
Nice.
I got my poster in the background. I got my artwork done.
Nice.
I have the artwork for 2 podcasts that I want to do. Tomorrow, I have an appointment to get my website. So yes, I'm one of those. I'm one of those. I'm coming out of this. I'm coming out of the chute loaded.
Man, I, as my people would say, Mazel Tov. Congratulations.
Gracias.
It's like, because as your people would say, so it's like, oh, and that's to my point before. You didn't have time to do that stuff before.
Right.
Because you're running around hosting, producing. I got to get these comics, that comics. We're going to quit. Now it's kind of like, well, shit, I'm not doing any of that. But that doesn't matter. Let's leave that over here on the bookshelf, and let's do this stuff.
Yeah.
So you got 5 things, and when we come out of this, and maybe in a few years, 2 of them will be left because it didn't work out, that didn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
But the big thing is that people don't get it. To be like this comic, people are trying to hit the center, the bullseye, right? Some people don't hit the bullseye. They have to go on to the outer rim in a sense. But sooner or later, this video, this sketch, this thing you wrote for somebody gets you into into the bullseye.
Yeah.
Look at Robin Schnell, right? She did the whole thing about her 2020 thing.
Robin Shaw, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, Robin Shaw, I love her. And now she was on Jennifer Gardner. She was on the Drew Carey show,
Right.
show.
Drew Barrymore.
And I love both of them. But that's the thing where you're at this rung and immediately you're here. But I agree with you. What are people going to have when they come out of this? Are they going to have anything to show for it? Now, I can't dispute people getting depression, money, because doing what we do costs money. It's like even little like light rings like this that I had. That's $10. That's $15. Getting things printed, microphones.
I mean, this costs money. I just got a brand new phone because your last one was crapping out.
I remember.
Yeah, that's why I had to postpone your interview.
I messaged you and you told me about the phone. I'm like, dude, Pudge, if you don't want me, have me on. Just tell me you don't want to have me on, man. Come on.
No, it was like a 3-year-old $200 Android that crapped out.
Nice.
And because of all this that I've been doing and been happening and moving forward, and I got a laptop, by the way, so the cell phone was on my to-do list anyway. It just so happens it crapped out, and now I'm an Apple guy. I got the iPhone, my first one. Nice. So I'm officially Manzana, Apple all the way. So yay. So yes, I've been hustling, grinding, purchasing everything towards the artistry, the craft, everything.
And like you already know, and some of the comics that all the comics we know, you've got to put in your time.
Yeah.
You can't just go from that open mic to feature. You can't just go, oh, I've got this Pudge IG thing. Why are no one's picking me up? Why am I not getting any sponsors? 2 years, 3 years, constant. I tell people who want to start their own business, it's like twice a week you have to upload new content. So like for every Wednesday, every Friday, new content. It could be a quote. Look at Gary Goldman. Every day for a while, he posted a brand new tip about comedy on Instagram.
Really? Okay.
I think every day he did that. So you've got to do new content because content is king. So if
Yeah.
you do these and you're like, yeah, I got 30 in the can and I got 30 to go.
Let me tell you, half of this, not just doing it, but learning it has been a
Oh yeah.
process and an
Yep.
issue. Because that was my Achilles heel as a comedian. 15 years hitting the stage, writing, working the craft, honing the craft, learning all that. But I fell behind, way behind, when it came to technology, the social
Yep.
media, content, marketing, branding. That was way. So that's what So that's what I'm taking advantage of the time now. But half of it is it's so much learning. It's so much learn. So a lot of mistakes,
Oh,
a lot of errors.
a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
I tried buying cables that connect my XLR mic to my phone because I did a pre-recorded show a couple of weeks ago. Bought 4 different cables because I know nothing about audio.
right.
Finally, one worked. I have this plugged into this, and then another thing. And I finally did a test recording, and it worked perfectly. But
Trial and error.
$50 later, I finally got the $3 cable that worked.
Trial, $3. Yeah, trial and error and a little bit of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I found out the hard way. The Instagram Live, I totally enjoy. I'm loving it, and I'm good at this. But initially, I'd also started a Facebook Live, a weekly Facebook Live,
Okay.
but as by myself, and I found that a little bit difficult talking by it's big difference. I see people I can't talk by myself only by, you know what I'm saying?
You got to get a script. You've got to get like bullet points. Like, okay, so let's talk today about the election. Now let's go to LA comics. You got to have a script available.
I think that's probably what I need, because I was doing. I would have some notations,
Sure.
but I don't know. Sometimes it's when I was actually, and also I was doing it outside from different locations around New York City. I wanted to make it interesting,
Nice.
but became a little bit. I mean, between the audio, the video, what I was talking about, and it didn't come off too well. So
and you start learning. Shit, how did other people make this look professional? Oh, because they have someone holding the camera for them. There's no little selfie.
Right.
A professional audio guy or a girl or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to pigeonhole.
Yeah.
You have a professional getting your audio, getting your video, taking it into iMovie or Final Cut and putting it together, putting the filters on, and it's like, oh, that's how they do it.
And the producer who's giving them the notes and the keys,
Yep.
and I was doing
There's
all
2
by myself.
Yep. I learned the hard way, just like you, running shows and recording shows. And I'm like, oh, this shotgun mic sucks. I have to get a different mic. Or the camera was too far. Okay,
Right.
so I can't charge the comics for a copy of their set. I'm going to give it to them free because it doesn't look good.
Right.
And it takes a while.
All little things. Yeah, but it's possible. I've come a long way. I've
Possible.
learned. And I'm still learning. Every day it's a little social media tip here, Instagram tip there.
And we all have to help each other out too.
Yeah. No, I share.
I was just talking to a voiceover friend of mine, and she said, because she knows I do comedy and I run my own company, whatever. She said, when do you stop giving free advice? Like, when do you stop giving free advice and start charging? I'm like, that's rough. Meaning it's like if someone sits down and you start coaching them with comedy and you start taping them and you start audio editing, it's like, hey, listen, I got to get paid for this, you know? So, but we got to kind of pay it forward to someone who doesn't know about audio or doesn't know about video. It's like, hey, Pudge, how did you get the audio sounding really well? It's like, oh, $4 cable at Best Buy, third aisle.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the worker, just the gold tip, whatever. So I love audio. Nothing about it.
Yeah, and just reaching out, and even just YouTube and Google have been my best friends. How to do this, how to do that,
YouTube
where to
has
find
everything. YouTube has everything. You type in anything, and I know I sound like an old dude. It's like, do you ever hear about that YouTube? YouTube is amazing. It has everything on there.
Yeah. I mean that I've said it before so many times. I was the get off my lawn guy because I'm a man of a certain age, and I didn't grasp all this technology, media, and branding. And now I'm a little late, but I'm catching up slowly.
You're not late. you're getting there when you got there.
Okay. Thank you. I like that. I'm going to keep that.
And here's the thing. You weren't just doing nothing. I know you. I've known you for years. You were
Yeah.
your ass for years and years and years. A
Yeah.
little show there, a bigger show there, a little mic over there.
Yeah.
You weren't doing anything. You were busy taking your 18 hours awake and putting it into this box.
Right.
Now you're like, oh, I have a completely empty box. Let's throw some more shit in there. Let's do 20 hours a day.
And I'm hoping, thanks to the pandemic and the lockdown, I'm catching up on all this stuff, and hopefully I'll have it under, like I'll be able to run with it on the other side.
I tried telling a lot of younger comics, because all cards on the table. I'm a designer. I started my career with advertising, so I know about brand. I'm a designer. I've designed all my websites, all that stuff. So that's what my day job is. So I try telling younger comics or newer comics, whatever, saying, listen, you're your own brand. Pudge is his own brand. Nico White, what is his own brand? And you guys know yourself perfectly, right? And you sell yourself appropriately. Nico does his way. I do it my way. You do it your way.
Right.
But I talked to one comic. He's like, well, I don't know if I should have a website just yet. And I'm like, who controls that? Who judges that? Of course, put a website up.
Yeah.
Put a couple of sets up there that you like. And get it done. You are your own brand. Dane Cook knew that he was a brand. He was his own. Love him or hate him.
Yeah.
Brand.
Respect him.
DJ Miller is a brand. And you have comics that parlay that into something. Oh, he's the guy that always wears what? E-Man. E-Man. I forgot his last name. How did I forget his last name? E-Man, a Middle Eastern comic. Always wears those short ties.
Yeah.
They're like that big. That's his brand.
How do you find your brand? Like I think I have an idea, but like how do you find your brand or your niche, your little
I was this anal retentive designer. I'm a web designer, graphic designer, branding, and so I am paid to be anal retentive, and sometimes I was wearing jackets or ties for work. And when I started in Houston, Texas, of all places, a few years, maybe 6-7 years after Hicks.
Oh wow,
Hedberg. So I was acting the same way I was at work. I started in Houston, but when I moved to LA and started doing comedy, about 5-6 years I was there. I just brought that persona on stage. I was very clean cut, hair parted, clean shaven. I was wearing a button down because that's what you did, because that's what Seinfeld did, I guess. Yeah. And I didn't really curse that much. I was that clean comic. When I did kind of curse, it meant a little something.
Right.
Yeah, like I would make a joke saying, I know what you guys are thinking. What is the accountant for the club doing on stage? And I'm like, how dare you? I'm the IT director. But, it got a laugh here and there. But I think people find it. I don't think a lot of people know that they have a brand.
Yeah.
I think they go on stage and they just trying to say what's funny. But there's a difference between what's funny and what you think is funny. There was a story that Steve Martin said, and we all love Steve Martin. This is when he was really just starting to maybe make it, but not really. The arrow and everything.
Yeah. I got his book. Born Standing Up.
The book is amazing. The book is amazing.
Yes.
Comic needs to read the Steve Martin book. He was done with the show, did not go well. And another favorite of mine, Peter Sellers, was Pink Panther, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he looked at Steve, and Steve Martin said this when he was receiving like the Kennedy Award, like on stage in front of thousands of people. Peter Sellers looked at him and pointed. He's like, I know what you're doing. Keep doing it. I know what you're doing. And Steve Martin started to tear up a little bit. You have someone like Peter Sellers.
Yeah. At that time.
At that time, Peter Sellers, even now, is an icon. He's a genius physical actor. It's the same thing if Carlin or Jon Stewart said, Pudge, I know what you're doing. They're like, wait, me? it's brilliant. So I don't think, and Steve Martin, if anyone knows his brand,
Right.
no, I don't think a lot of comics know their brand, or they know that they should get a brand, but it might take 5 years.
I know. I know we have to get a brand. It's just sometimes I stop and think, and I'm not sure. It's like I don't even something. I mean, I don't know. I have issues. I don't even know who I am in the real world. It's like I'm all spaced out.
Hey,
Like who? You know, I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm this. I'm that. I'm so many things, and it drives me nuts.
yeah.
And when I go on stage, I don't know what, I'm Pudge. I know that.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. Your name's not Carlos. It's not Steve. It's not Andrew. It's Pudge.
Yeah.
Pudge is that buddy that's always there. Hey, is Pudge here yet? Where's Pudge? He's in the back. Okay. Pudge is that guy. He's like, I will pick you up at the airport, but I'm probably going to be 20 minutes late, but I will be there. Your brand is, Pudge is that name, because that personifies, right. That kind of says, oh wait, Pudge, immediately you kind of come up with something in your head.
Yeah.
I'm not Eric. Hello, I'm not, Chad coming up here. Just Pudge.
Well,
guys.
You sound like you really know what you're talking about. So let me ask you this, because this has been on my mind. I've always had issues with my name. Long story short, I was born under a different name. For family reasons, I don't want to get into it. I changed my last name, got rid of a middle name, and then what? Huh?
Hinckley? Was it?
No, I didn't shoot nobody. I didn't shoot nobody, and I didn't swim over here. Okay, that's it. I didn't shoot nobody. I didn't swim here. So, but anyway, and I would actually, when I started 15 years ago, I just came up as Fernandez. I only used my last name because I didn't want to use my first name. I just wanted something different, and then it just came to me. Pudge was actually a nickname that I got when I was in the service many years ago, and it fit. So I'm like, well, yeah, I am Pudge and Pudgy, and it fits. So I used Pudge Fernandez, and I kept it for 15 years. But here's my question. Should I put my first name in front of Pudge?
What's the real first name?
John.
John Pudge Fernandez.
And by the way, you're like one of a few comedians that actually know that. I can count on one hand how many comedians know my first name. I think you're number 3. I think you're the 3rd comedian I've ever told.
John Pudge Fernandez. Pudge Fernandez. John Pudge. No, that's weird sounding. I think...
Yeah. It's like I'm playing with it, but I don't know.
Here's the thing with brand. You look at John Mulaney. Say when he got big, he's like, let me use my middle name. John Herbert Mulaney. Nah, that's not going to work.
No.
You're known, in the New York comedy scene, which is the best, brightest, and most brilliant comedy scene in the world, you're known as Pudge.
Yes.
And we can introduce you. Come to the stage. Pudge. Pudge Fernandez, whatever, but we all know you as that.
Yes.
That's your brand. That's your brand. For me, I added in my middle name, Ian.
Right.
Ian Bayroff.
That's a nice ring.
It's supposed to be a pain in the ass for producers. With
Ian Bayroff.
Yeah. And it has a tone to it. It has a cadence to it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, a cadence. Bow, bow, bow.
My other projects, like we might discuss, like my book, I'm AI Bayroff.
Okay.
It's because it's more provocative. AI Bayroff.
Also, it looks good in print.
It looks
good in print.
Brand.
I can see it. When you said it, I see it. I can see it. Yes, and the dots. It looks great in print.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence, which is I have no real intelligence. It better be.
Yes.
I think people know their brand. Look at Dice Clay.
Right.
When I was, I got to perform for a while at the Comedy Store, and I got to meet a shit ton of people. I met one guy who used to perform when he was called Andy Clay. So just a nebbishy Jew doing his little thing, but he became created as Andrew Dice.
Yeah, it was one of his impersonations. He used to do impersonations of people.
If it was just Andy Clay and then Andrew Clay, no, Andrew Dice Clay, the pompadour, the cigarette smoking, the jacket, that's his brand. that's his thing, you know. And
Yeah.
that you can't have another one like him. You're never
No.
gonna have
No.
another thing like that. You're not gonna have another Carrot Top. You're not gonna have another what's that? The Magician. Shit.
Oh, Amazing Jonathan.
Yeah, Amazing Jonathan, who is fucking amazing. I saw him live in Vegas. One of the best shows I have ever seen. He
I,
he was sick at the time too. He's still very, very sick.
yeah, I remember when I was a kid. I watched. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. There's only the only thing about my name is I was just worried that if it's not taken seriously or for acting purposes.
Well, if you're going, well, here's the thing: is comedy going to get you into acting, or acting going to get you better known in comedy? Because as a comic, Pudge Fernandez, that's comedy. But for acting, maybe John Fernandez. You know, you look at how many actors changed their name.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Gallagher. There you go, Jerry. That was the other one, Gallagher. You're never gonna have another Gallagher. You know, even though his brother stole a lot of his
twin.
stuff.
Yeah, I heard stories. Yeah,
Wing and the parents. It's a whole mission gas. If I can get some Yiddish on you. So, you know, you have Alan Alda. That's not his real name.
no.
Woody Allen, not his real. Rodney Dangerfield isn't his real. But Rodney Dangerfield, wow. You know, it's amazing. So
Yeah.
I mean, I like Pudge Fernandez. Coming to the stage, Pudge Fernandez.
Cool.
I
All right.
changed my name just because it's different mediums. I'm writing a novel. It's a more, my books are very dark and very a little mysterious, and there's suspense. So it's A.I. Bayroff. And when you pick up the book, you're like, ooh, what's this? But Andrew Ian Bayroff, it looks good on a marquee or something like that. I know I sound like a schmuck, or I sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but we all have to know our brand. And you can have sub-brands under that Pudge Fernandez. Maybe you are John Fernandez when you go to the Midwest. You know, maybe you're different when you go to London and you perform. But if you're acting, maybe it's just Pudge. Yeah, I'm like Madonna, bitches. I'm just Pudge.
Or John P.
I'm John P. I'm John
P. Fernandez.
Yep, that's a good.
So let me ask you, when did you start writing? Did writing come first, or did comedy come first?
Writing. The first novel I wrote was, I got done with college. I graduated in '94, and I was living in Central Jersey with my parents right out of college, and I was commuting to New York to work at an ad agency. I was working at Ogilvy and Mather, one of the largest ad agencies. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm going to be traveling for an hour and a half, 2 hours each way to the Port Authority and then back to Jersey Hill Township, where I was from. I started writing my first novel, and it turned out to be 450 pages. And then I wrote 4 more novels.
Jesus.
Never did anything with them. But in between those, I published a typography book with Simon & Schuster. I published my dating book called Check Please. Comical stories about dating and the horrible things we say to each other. And a taxi book for my grandfather, who was a taxi driver for 40 years in New York. And
Yellow?
Pushing the Hack. Hack is your hack to write.
I have a hack license.
And that is this one, right? And all the books as well. So that's my grandfather, 1932. It's a little book, you know. When I see you next, I'll give you one.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It's all taxi tips.
I would love that. I would love that. Yes.
It's a Q&A with him about, he was born in 1908. And hold on, sorry. He was born in 1908, died at nearly 103.
Shit.
A lot of technical issues. So yeah, this is really an homage to him.
Awesome. Wow, so you have a whole library of books that you've written.
I've got 4 books. So my typography book was in 130 colleges around the country. Required reading. 130 colleges, universities. That's because it was produced by Simon & Schuster, Prentice Hall. The others I self-published through Hulu and through Amazon.
You said through Hulu and Hulu.
No, Lulu.
Lulu.
Now, Lulu is a small publishing company, online digital. So if I want to order 5 copies, I got 5 copies. There's no 50,000 prints somewhere sitting and collecting dust in a warehouse. But this is the novel.
Yes.
See the whole thing. It's cut on my phone, but it's this is AI Bayroff midpoint. This is the cover, back. This is soft cover. This has been out for a while. Sales are okay, but this is one of 4. This midpoint is a small town in New Jersey, so it's small town, big secrets, and this one of 4 books that are going to hold. They're going to have towns in New Jersey as the title. So I'm 200 pages into my second novel called Harvest, and it's going to be Harvest, New Jersey.
Okay.
And there's 2 more after that.
So your niche is Jersey.
I'm a Jersey guy. I was born
all the way
Sheepshead Bay, but I was raised in Freehold Township.
Okay, sweet.
I'm a Jersey guy. I know Jersey, so midpoint, Harvest, and the name of the book is not only the name of the book, but it's the name of the town, and it's what's going on in the town.
Is it present, past? Well, during what's the time period on that?
Place in 2004.
Recent.
So yeah, because I didn't want cell phones and texting. I wanted the characters.
Gotcha.
Harvest takes place in 2028, which is not too far from here.
No. Okay.
Harvest and Midpoint mention each other. Midpoint mentions the town of Harvest, and Harvest mentions Midpoint. And there's one character that I brought from Midpoint in the main storyline of Harvest.
Oh, get the fuck out. That sounds cool.
Yeah. So, and then there's a little nod, a little wink, wink. From Freehold. So it's a little bit like in Midpoint, they say, oh, where's your sister? Oh, she's visiting friends in Harvest. And they're like, Harvest? Oh my God, it's disgusting up there. Flash forward 18 years, Harvest is a bustling, amazing city. But why? How did it get that way? And enter in my book.
It sounds like this could roll into movies because the way they're intertwined and they connect with each other, and you have a character going from one to another. Like,
in that character, well, from your lips to Hulu and Netflix ears and whatever.
I just see, I see what the makings of something.
The stories are by themselves. They're in a silo. They could work by themselves. You don't have to read Midpoint to get Harvest and vice versa. But
there's these little points that just intersect, and it's nice.
Just a little intersect, and then after this, and I haven't decided on the title just yet. That's going to mention this one and this one, and there's a attorneys general from Midpoint that's going to be in the 3rd book. That's going to make the leap into the 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a good character. She's a pain in the ass, and I love writing her. Really good, really strong character. So I didn't pick the character specifically because, this is my master plan. I was like, you know what? I need an AG. Oh, let me just pick up Lilia from Midpoint. Cool.
And it fits the timeline. The timeline fits.
It all fits. It's not like it's 2089. It's like she would be 104. But what I can do is, in 2004, if she was a assistant, 20 years later, she's now the head of the department. Right. So I could tell that story as well. But yeah, one of the characters in Midpoint becomes an FBI agent in Harvest, and so there's that crossover. Gotcha. But hey, I've had people read this. I've got really good reviews on Amazon right now.
Let me ask you. So for anybody watching, including myself, because I've definitely I have the outline or the idea of a book myself, but I don't know jack shit other than putting pen to paper. All right. But so what are the steps aside from actually writing it?
Well, yeah, I never took, other than 8th grade, I never took a writing class.
Right. Yeah.
You know, as both of us, we've been comedy writers, sketch writers. Did the Groundlings. I was in the Groundlings for 3 years taking classes, so I learned a lot from that. I wasn't growling. I was taking classes. For me, I get the crux of the entire story. This person is going to kidnap this child, but let's find out why. Oh, it turns out that's his child. It turns out it's a robot. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then it grows from there. What characters, whatever. Oh, you know what? They want to put a link to my book. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. My published books.
Look at you. My fans are following you.
Oh God, of course I spelled something wrong and I have to go back. I'm an idiot. My published books. I'm writing a scene now where there's a big confrontation at a press conference. So I'm like, I have to get this person to admit something. I need this person to save her. And I need these two other people to come in and join forces. How am I going to get that done? It could be done in a paragraph or it could be done in 5 chapters. But I can't do it in 5 chapters because I have 4 chapters set aside for this senator and this doctor to come in. Do I know what's going to happen in 50 pages? I haven't a clue what's going to happen in 50 pages. There's sometimes, and this isn't a cop-out, I don't know what the character is going to say until they're saying it because you're in the mood, you're in the zone. It's kind of like being on stage and you're doing crowd work. You don't know what you're going to say until it comes out of your mouth.
Right.
You know, because you might have a drunk person, a scary, they're yelling at you and you just come up with the character. My advice to yourself and other people, get some sort of outline.
Yeah.
Who is the book for? Is it preteen? Is it tween? Is it adult? Is it for a black audience? Is it for a Latino audience? And I'm not trying to pigeonhole anybody.
No.
There's movies that are really like black centric or white centric or Jewish or whatever.
Mine would be autobiography.
Yeah.
So it'd be adult.
Who is this for? It's adult. Great. Am I doing it as first person? Hey, I'm Pudge. Good to meet you. Or
good. That's a good question. I thought about that. I wasn't sure how to write, which one to pick.
Mine, there's pros and cons with all of them. If you're doing first person, it's only your point of view. It's Pudge's point of view. Wow, my mom doesn't look. Wow, what's wrong with my uncle? You can't go to the uncle. The uncle has to tell us what's going on. I'm doing third person, but I'm not doing third person omniscient. I don't know everything of everything that's going on. Like if I'm in a chapter and there's 3 people in there in that scene, just purchase check, please. Thank you. Yeah.
By the way, the gentleman who's chiming in who purchased your book, he's actually a veteran. I served with him in the National Guard like 20 years ago.
Thank you, sir.
And yeah.
Check, please.
And Small World, do you know, real quick, do you know Lynette Palladino?
Oh, yes. I performed with her a lot.
Okay, he worked with her in the Army. So it was like Small World. That's all. I haven't seen him in 20 years.
Thing.
And Lynette worked with him. I worked with him 20 years ago. And now he's going to, next year, he's going to make his comedy breakthrough. He's going to start performing as well.
Let me know. I will tune in. Yeah, I performed with Lynette, not as much as with you, but I've performed with Lynette. I booked Lynette. Yeah, definitely. Like check, add in little things. I have all the places I took my dates.
Okay.
These are all the bars. I kept all the receipts.
Awesome.
Just have a direction. Like
right.
What do I want to have happen on page 300?
No.
But what do I want to happen towards the end? Like, what am I going towards? Like, if you're doing a joke, there's 4 parts. I can't do this part. I got to do this one, and this one. And if it's a short set, you cut a couple of things. But I know on page 300, I want these 2 people to move out of this town. But right. Why? How? How are they going to get there? I like you on my, yes, sir. I don't know if I salute or what I should be doing. I don't know what. Thank you for your service. That's all I got. And I mean that seriously. For someone like yourself who's already a writer, I would say get a little bit of an outline.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, be careful, because if you write too stringent of an outline, you're going to pigeonhole yourself.
Right.
And I always equate it, because you're a comic, you get back to a joke. If you write out the joke verbatim on stage, you're like, oh, what was the next word? Was it vanity? Was it vain? Oh, shit. No, here's the beginning. Try to get to the middle, and you got to punch. Anything in the middle, as long as you get to that next milestone, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, my basic breakdown, because it's a bio, personal bio of myself, is I just broke it down in chronological order, you know, and just segments, and I'm just gonna fill in from memory, like different part. Okay, I'm gonna do this part of my life today, the elementary school, like birth to element, and junior high school, military, and then I'm just gonna like fill all those, but more by decades.
You can pepper in like who was present at that point. It's like, oh my God, Pac-Man cards came out. Like make it typical, like bring other people in, because your story will be interesting. But they're like, oh, side fact, I had every Madonna album. Okay, let's get back to the story. You know, these little asides really help the story out.
I'm writing this down, by the way. So I'm not paying. I'm writing.
Oh, I got you. Like in my story now, I'm on part 2. I'm page 190, 200 on Harvest, and I'm like, you know what? These characters, I have a doctor, an Indian doctor. She was very strict, very stringent. And in part 2, she's starting to loosen up a little bit. So there's a character, like a security guard, that's always there, knows everything, always. She's like, you're like Batman. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you're everywhere, you know everything, and everyone just seems to listen to you. He's like, I'll take that as a you're welcome. She's like, I don't like Batman. No. And then you're off. That's a little section and you're off. But filling in, like in a joke, you do the joke. You're like, I see you over there. I see you. I'll get to you in a minute, and then you're back to the joke. So I look at writing, long form writing, as you have to throw in a little bit of crowd work, just a little. You could be
bring them together. Drop a nuance.
You could be in the most serious part of a story. Maybe someone farts. Maybe the doorbell rings. Hi, did you order any pizza? No, we didn't order pizza. And back to the scene. Right. You know, you can be serious and you can be a little weird and then come back to it. So my books, as a comic, I do write in a little bit of comedy, but my books are quite. Harvest is about 8 months before the story started. There was a murder. One of the main residents was murdered. It's less than 600 people in town. 5 months before someone was raped. There was a sexual assault. Wow. So these are not happy-go-lucky books. The books get a little darker and a little deeper as I write. So when I get to my 4th book, that's the most messed up of all the topics. But as with what we're talking about, I was going on all these dates, saving all these research. I'm like, what can I do with this? Let me write a book. But I not only wrote the book about it, I wrote an hour TV pilot, and I wrote an hour one-man show. Oh. So like I'm doing the podcast, I'm doing the YouTube, I'm doing the you know, all that stuff.
Putting it all together, yep.
So I have an hour pilot. I have the 55-minute one-man show, and I have the book that I bring with me to sell after shows, because a lot of my material is dating.
Sure.
And I said, hey guys, if you love these stories, see me after the show. It's only $10 or $8 or whatever I sell it.
That's great. That's great.
I sign it and I get
That's so much better than a T-shirt. I mean, I would do T-shirts. I got nothing against T-shirts. I want to do T-shirts, but a book, that's solid.
But I get a photo with them. I tag them. I put them on the gram, as the kids are calling it, I think.
The gram.
The gram.
I don't know either. I don't know either.
It sounds like a drug thing. But they take the book. They're like, I did a show. I was hosting at Comedy Cove over with Gene over in New Jersey. And I was hosting and I got to promote the book. They came up after me like, hey, do you have the books with you? I'm like, I do. I bring like 5 or 6 copies to each show, especially if I do road gigs or if I'm out of the country, which is not that often. I bring the books. But it's a great selling point because it's tangible, like a T-shirt, hat, or a button. Yeah. But it's books. And they're like, oh, one of them messaged me. They're like, oh, I read that story that was on stage. You didn't say everything on stage. I'm like, I couldn't say everything on stage. Yeah. I saw a couple of kids there, and there was some questionable things I did.
Yeah, totally.
But the book is great. But
that is so cool. Now I'm jacked.
and I have advertisements out there on Instagram and Facebook. You know, you build the shelves, I'll help fill them. MyPublishedBooks.com.
That's
And
you.
that's me. And that's one of my advertisements. And another
Oh,
one out tomorrow is shaped like a Christmas tree. Is your New Year's resolution to read more? MyPublishedBooks.com with a little bow at the top. So it's every Wednesday I post something, whether it's just midpoint or it's all the books.
so this is you.
MyPublishedBooks.com takes you to the taxi book, the
Okay.
dating book, and midpoint.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah, and the typography book, which I don't see a lot of selling because it's letters and everything. But
Gotcha.
it was good to me while it lasted. The three main ones because they're available online.
Is publishing it yourself, like, I know it's basically new. I mean, within what, the last decade, now it's become more available for people. Is it totally better than going door to door to a publishing company? I know it cuts a lot of the middleman out, but is it worth your while?
I don't think it has anything to do with the middleman. I think it has to do with exposure. Because if you wrote your autobiography, right?
Right.
I have my book, Midpoint Harvest, and people love it. Holy shit! Did you read Pudge's book?
Mm-hmm.
He had John LaRoquette and Carlin's daughter, or Tim Jeffries. Oh my god! But you're not a celebrity.
Right.
No one knows you. Who the hell are you with your hat on backwards?
Yeah.
Who are you? Dark glasses. Oh wow, another white Jewish comic writing.
Right.
It's a pro and con because if you get an agent, they'll work for you. An agent, a manager, Simon & Schuster, Knopf, Penguin, big, or even a small one in Brooklyn or in Queens or even in Montreal or Toronto. But you're still going to have to work. You're going to have to work. But they'll have connections. They'll have a million email addresses. They'll do all that. But they might want you to change something. They want you to change it. Self-publishing is a bear because it didn't cost me anything to do it. To buy the books, it cost me. But I did guerrilla warfare. I bought a little fold-up table. I got a banner printed, and I got cards. What was it? I got little cards printed like this, and for midpoint. And I set up shop in Washington Square Park every Saturday for 6 hours.
Okay.
And I had all my books on little metal stands. And I had a little banner that was said, mypublishedbooks.com. And I got sales almost every day I was out there.
Okay.
Because you don't know who's out there. There could be an agent. It could be a director. It could be some big comic that we don't know about. They're like, hey, I love that dating book. Hey, can you be on my podcast? Love it. I think self-publishing is a much deeper hole. It's a bigger mountain to climb. But
wow.
if you look at, and I'm not saying it's bad. I love full control.
Right.
There's a lot.
Full control. That's the key, I think.
I usually don't like working with people because people just let you down. I like controlling everything. But just because you have an agent, a manager, or even a publishing house, you still have to do a lot of work. What was it? My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That was an off Broadway show.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks's wife
Went to see it.
Boom! Overnight.
I want to buy it. I want to make it a movie.
I want to buy it. Oh, here's a few $1 million. Brr. Okay. Even if she got $500,000 for it, that's $500,000 she originally didn't have.
Yep.
Now, hopefully, she got points on the back end, and when it did well, or the part two,
the sequel. The sequel.
You had Corbin on the first one, who was hilarious. Who played the husband, the straight, the Goyim, as we call them, not Greek. You never know. You have all these, like I was saying before, you're shooting for the bullseye, but there's so many things around the circumference.
You can fill up the whole board.
Fill up the whole board. And okay, are we not getting Netflix? Do we deserve Netflix? The HBO, whatever. But you come out with a podcast that's been running for 3 years, and you have 500,000 followers, and you have advertisers. Yeah. You come out with novels. Are my books comedy? No. But
even better.
But sure as shit, clubs would love I tell this to younger comics. Clubs don't care. They don't care how funny you are. They want a logo. They want a logo. Now, I'm not saying Mark Norman isn't funny. I'm not saying Nico. You know, Nico's hilarious. But it's logos. They want logos next to your name, you know? So they might not want me at the club, but once they can say, New York Times bestseller list, just published his first novel. You just saw him on Ellen or Jimmy Kimmel. Welcome to the stage.
Yeah.
You know, all of it, I can get no clubs to book me. But if they find out that my dating book was featured on The Daily Show or an Ellen DeGeneres,
That's a wrap. Yeah.
my stock just went up 500 points.
Credits. Credits, some kind of credits.
You just saw him on the Ellen DeGeneres show. His book is selling like crazy. Welcome to the stage. They want that logo next to the marquee.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, when you're done writing, so as far as publishing yourself, does that include you got to edit it yourself?
No, I don't recommend it.
Not with my English grade in high school.
No soy los zapatos. Don't. Did I say anything?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can send it somewhere just for editing.
You can. Well, there's also different levels of editing.
Okay.
You've got copywriting or copy editing, line editing. Then you have like a pseudo author, like someone will author it with you and change things around. All cards on the table. I spent $1,800 on an editor.
Wow.
Times 2.
For 2 books.
No, 2 editors.
For 1 book.
For 1 book.
Which editors did you use?
I used a editor on Redzi.com.
Okay.
Yes.
But what was their job functions, each one?
Their job was the same. I just used 2 different ones because the second one gave me a better deal. So they go through punctuation, grammar, sentence structure, spelling mistakes, the big 4.
Okay, basic. Okay.
The basic stuff that you can get an editor to do that for much, much less.
Okay.
Then she went in and I don't understand this section. You need more here. What are you talking about here? I don't know if that's real. She ripped, like in Microsoft Word, you can do something called track changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the side, it's all red with arrows. The whole page was red. She marked up everything. Every page had 30, 40 different edits.
Wow.
But I tell you, Pudge, if I can call you Pudge, it made the book 1,000 times better.
Really?
I took sections. It's like a joke. If the joke is 2 minutes, no, it could be 10 minutes. I rewrote everything. Had friends read it. My friend Thomas read it. He gave me 6 pages, front and back of notes. Amazing. I went to another editor. She gave me 3 rounds of edits versus 1 on the other editor. Ripped the whole thing apart, made the book so much better.
Okay.
And I wouldn't edit it yourself. You could edit it in the sense of, no, that wasn't her name.
Right.
Like this character, or let's move mom or aunt or whatever to this other section, right? They came in with fresh eyes and said, this makes absolutely no sense. There's no way a therapist would talk to an assault victim this way. Or like someone like yourself, it's like, that's not how the military works. That's not what a colonel would say to a private or whatever it is. I'm having to do research on FBI protocol, on how FBI agents talk to each other, on what their divisions are, what their titles are. Are they director? Are they assistant director? All that kind of stuff. So I would get an editor for fresh eyes and to rip the whole thing apart. But you should go through it, print it with a red pen, and mark the whole thing up. Through Amazon, you get printed books before they actually get published.
Really?
I always tell people, read it in the format that it's going to be read in. So I have books, if I can find it, with notes, stickies everywhere, and red circles, everything. There's not one page that doesn't.
So you can actually print up a couple of copies, and it's gonna be a rough draft.
Yep.
Rough draft.
I did that. I had a book club read my book. I had 2 book clubs read Midpoint.
Okay.
I got 5 or 6 copies, author copies, and I distributed them. I do your due diligence because you're going to be spending a lot of time with this and you really want it picture perfect.
Right.
Now, it's different because yours is personal.
Right.
So the editor might say, obviously, punctuation, spelling, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the basic, yeah.
The basic stuff, but important. And also formatting. Look up terms widow and orphan, M dash, N dash, all these little typographical things they'll tell you about. There's also the difference between them editing my book, my made-up story, versus Pudge really loved what you had to say when you were in Afghanistan and you were talking to the general. Give me more of that. I love that story. And you may be like, oh, I had no idea. So that is now its own chapter. Or it's like, hey, you might want to pull back on the gory details and not talk about the exposed,
Right.
This is just me shooting the shit.
And it's like joke, right? Just fresh eyes can change everything.
Yep. It's a mic. It's a very expensive mic.
And it's one person.
It's one person, but that one person could be Bill Burr.
Right.
That one person could be like, yeah, right. I don't understand any of that joke. You're going way too fast. But for me, like we were talking about an hour ago, it's what have I accomplished? Like you see this big thing behind me?
Yeah.
That's my voiceover booth.
Oh, you have one in your house?
Yep. So
shit.
I built my own booth.
Okay.
Because I knew I needed a new demo. I knew I wanted to submit to agents and whatever. So I built it in March. Took a couple of days. So my big accomplishments were, I want Midpoint to get out before the holidays, which it is. I need to build my voiceover booth. Those are the 2 big things for 2020. They've been done for months. Oh, let me go on to more things. And obviously stuff costs money. Cables, microphones, amps, laptops, phones. I said, okay, let me start on the next book. Let me start on the next one. Let me write that new half hour about my childhood for comedy that I wanted to talk about. Let me start a mic. Let me start a show. Let me, do whatever. I'm a big believer in a to-do list.
Yeah, I try. I have my day planner. I'm old school. I got the to-do list. I'm a little ADD sometimes, but I'm big on that.
And I not only do to-do lists for the week or the month, I do yearly to-do lists.
Oh, wow.
So I want to go on vacation here, or I want to get new clothing, or I want to find a homeless shelter to do another show at, or little things, clean up the apartment, do whatever. But it's like the week stuff, plus I want yearly. What do I want to accomplish for the end of the year? But getting a book out, getting your YouTube up, getting content on Amazon is huge. And I wrote an article for my website a while ago talking about milestones and talking about the tiny miracles, the small steps, the baby steps, where you want to go from here to here, but there's 20 little steps in between that. And when you're on step 10, look back how far you came. So when you hit a milestone, this milestone is here, and there's 10 more milestones, and there's 20 more little steps.
Right.
What do I call them? Micro something. I can't even remember my own bullshit that I come up with. Anyway, I don't know. Micro something, micro accomplishments. Like, we don't get to do headlining, or we don't get to A-list half-hour material out of nowhere.
Right.
5 years, it's 10 years. And we also, my first time on stage, I bombed beautifully. It was like God himself scooped out all the air and said, you shall not laugh. I remember the first time I was in front of a writing class, I was dripping in sweat. I was so nervous. But now it's like, all of us, it's kind of like, 500 people, whatever. 5,000, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done 5,000 people, but,
Yeah.
It's a different feeling, and we're different comics we were, 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, and we're gonna be different comics coming out of this too. Like I'm almost excited and can't wait to see what's on the other side for all of us. It's gonna
Oh,
be it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be different. I'm curious, uh, uh, especially with the pandemic and the vaccine, and our club's gonna open up, and there's all these rumors that hey, if they can't have stadium shows and big theaters, well, the Kevin Harts and the Seinfelds are just gonna come down to the comedy clubs, and then everyone's gonna get pushed down. And where does that leave us? I mean, it's kind of it's a lot of people like fear of the unknown. I'm a
of course.
little excited. Hey, I'm ready to duke it out, whatever it takes.
Hey, man,
Let's,
this could be a great way for
yeah,
1 or 20 of us to get discovered. They're like, yeah, that guy that opened up for Kevin Hart, he was better than Kevin Hart. Or like
yeah,
look at Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld had Mark Norman open for him. You know, that's huge. I mean, Mark is obviously Mark, and
yeah, yeah,
top rung, but you don't know. There are many times that opener is like, I don't want him opening for me anymore. You
too
know,
good. Yeah,
I don't want her opening for me anymore. She is way better than me. You know, but good, be better than that headliner.
yeah,
Be better than that headliner. But any headliner is gonna pick someone. It's like, hey, Pudge, you're funny, but in the back of their mind, you're not funnier than me.
right.
But you're good and you can get my audience. You know me, whether it's Spanish or English, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
But the fact that you speak Spanish and it's Fernandez, you have a whole new world. You have a different world open to you than maybe I do.
yeah, right.
But then again, I can do all the Jewish temples and you can't. So, that's that's not saying a lot. That's not a lot.
I could I can work there. I just won't be on stage. I'll be sweeping and mopping somewhere. That's all.
Yeah, don't you? No. Uh,
What do you think will be next year? Like, what's your personal? Because my prediction was already shot out. I thought back in the spring that we'd be September, October, we'd be coming out of it. Obviously, I'm not Nostradamus. What do you see?
I see this time next year, clubs kind of opening up or already opened up. The vaccine will be widespread. I can see clubs, restaurants wanting to see your vaccination card. Like, did you get vaccinated? No, you can't come in. Or this is a vaccinated area. This is a non-vaccinated area. Smoking, non-smoking.
Let me see the papers. The papers, sir.
Your
The
papers
papers.
are not in order. I'm Jewish. Not again. I see it opening up. I mean, you got Biden coming in, so hopefully you got a little bit of humanity, and he's already starting to do a lot with his coalitions and the task force and everything. Shit, it's rough for comedy because we're not essential. I mean, we are. It's essential for us and our soul.
No, see, I think we are essential. Mental health.
No, meaning to like the powers that be.
I know. The powers to be should know.
Yeah, I
mean,
think
we're
comedy generally beyond us is essential because people need to laugh. People need that hour and a half of sustainability in their mentality to forget the debt, forget the breakup, forget the divorce for an hour and a half. That's why I love doing this show at the homeless shelter, because for an hour and a half, these guys can forget their plight.
That's what we're there for. And now during this pandemic, it's more we're needed more than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, you keep the liquor stores open. What are you feeding? It's like you're gonna feed people that, but you're not gonna feed them some entertainment, some expand their minds.
The city could be championing the outside shows. Like, hey, we're setting up tents. We got mics. Just wear a mic condom or a foam thing or whatever. I don't know. That's why I'm keeping busy. That's why I'm trying to do the outskirts of comedy to kind of get something out there. It's slim pickings, but I hope this time next year will be half club. Doing something. We'll be back. We'll be back at Broadway. We'll be back at Caroline's, whatever.
If they're still open. I mean, we've already lost 2 clubs in New York City. I don't know.
Yeah, I really hated to see QED go.
QED went too?
I think they closed, didn't they?
No, Creek in the Cave.
Creek in the Cave. Why was I thinking QED?
A lot of people are saying they might be next because it's such a small club.
I love QED. I love what Cambry and Christian did over there. And I don't know if you performed there, but I love on that stage.
No.
Such a quaint, intimate stage. Yeah, Creek did a lot for a lot of comics. Dangerfields, they closed, but they'll be back, they say, after this is all over.
Right.
But then you got the Stand, you got Caroline's, you got Gotham, Greenwich Village, the Al Martin army.
I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, God bless them. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how much more they have.
A lot of money for rent, mortgage, and then they have all their workers out of work. That must suck for the owners. Al's like, we got to do something. And Al's obviously a huge proponent for getting things back open again.
I mean, I don't see it. Maybe in the spring, maybe. I mean, baseball is supposed to be in April, and they're talking about pushing it back till May.
We're also going into flu season, so that can't help.
No.
I haven't gotten a flu shot in like 30 years.
I've never got one. I don't think I've ever got a flu shot.
And I don't know if I'm going to get this COVID vaccination.
Unless, like you said, I think it's going to come push comes to shove. If you want a job, if you want employment, if you want to enter a restaurant, it's going to come to that. So I'll wait. I mean, when it comes, it comes.
That's going to be a big separator for this country. You think masks are bad? You can't go into Home Depot or whatever without a mask? There's going to be murders and shootings and slap fights outside of Home Depot because they're not letting me in. This fascist isn't letting me in because I don't have the vaccine card.
I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's a different administration, so we have something to look forward to. A little change of pace. I'll say, in the White House, something different.
I hope, man. I hope. And hopefully we get to see each other in person.
Yeah. I mean, a lot, with the outdoor shows, a lot of us were crisscrossing everywhere, and some of us got to see each other. But now with the cold weather and now the second shutdown, it seems like I'll see you in March, maybe April.
Let's schedule. I'll have my people talk to your people.
Something like, we're so desperate. I had one comic was trying to get something together. Let's get some coffee and meet in the park. Let's find a 50-degree day.
Yeah.
And it's so very honorable, very cool. But it's like, really, we gotta meet somewhere like in on the low, drinking coffee in a park somewhere just to, it's like crazy.
Yeah, dating too. Dating's not fun either. Touching elbows. Okay, good to meet you. Bye. Yeah, not fun.
It all sucks. And personally, the only thing I'm glad of the shutdown. I'm relieved with the second shutdown because I got tired of the emotional roller coaster I was having with myself with comedy. Because I'll hit a stage, and regardless of how I do, I'm amped, I'm energized, I'm pumping, my adrenaline's pumping, I want to do more, and I want to throw myself out there. And then all of a sudden you put on the news or you hear it through a radio or social media, this person died, there's another outbreak, we lost another comedian, somebody's grandmother, and all of a sudden it's like, and it's like,
God, that person died, damn it.
It's like, it's that constant, you get motivated and then you get deflated.
Yep.
And it's like my comedy claws want to come out. Hey. And I don't give, and I've done some shows maybe I shouldn't have done, and I'm glad nothing has happened. And I just don't want to be in that predicament. So I'm just kind of glad of the shutdown because I don't have to think about it.
But people are desperate, Pudge. People are desperate. They're going to the indoor shows. They're doing the passing the mic and everything. People are desperate. Comics are, the thing is though, there's a lot of comics out there. That's their life. If they don't have comedy, they're going to go back to therapy. They're going to go back on their meds. And I'm not making fun or casting aspersions on them.
No, I understand.
It's like when I'm on stage, I'm like, oh, all right, this is what I remember. But I have other outlets. There's people out there. They're like, if I don't have comedy, this is not going to go well because this is my catharsis. This is my therapy. This is how I'm supposed to do it. it's going to be a stop and go for quite some time. Yep, Comedy Pete.
Yes, Comedy Pete.
Comedy Pete knows. And I salute you, good sir. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, Pete's the closest comic I live that lives next to me, so he's probably the only one that I'll see over the winter.
Where are you?
I'm in Elmhurst, Queens, on the border of Maspeth, and he's like one town over.
You just said words I've never heard before.
Yeah, so he's like 5-minute drive away from me.
Oh, not bad. You guys can get coffee and hold hands in the park and just
yeah. I tell him, come to the park, let's work out together. He doesn't want to, but
oh God, I just got a whole workout thing. I got a whole bench and weights.
I bought weights too. I got the weights too. Yep, I did the same thing.
I was like, I got to do this. I'm not going back to the gym. Spend a little bit of money on Amazon. Now I got a full workout I can do.
Yeah, I got a couple of weights and I already started. I kind of pulled something the first time, so I'm waiting again.
Good man.
But yeah, the same thing. I'm trying to work out, eat right, and also because of the cold weather, I can't do laps in the park like I used to. It's just freezing sometimes.
No,
but we're adapting. It's funny. I spent 8 years in the infantry, and everything we learned as far as our mindset of adapt, overcome, and improvise and complete. Now it's coming to comedy in the real world in the pandemic. So it's kind of like shit.
It's Clint Eastwood. Eastwood. Improvise, overcome.
Yeah. That's what we're taught. That's what we're taught. A lot of us in the military, and I find myself doing that every day.
But that comes down to I'm used to this. Oh wait, I can't do this anymore. Oh, right. What's this new thing over here? I could write. I'm an actor now. Oh wow, I want to adopt a dog. The COVID, by no means am I applauding COVID because it sucks for a lot of people, the people that have passed, the money, the jobs, but it's also opened up new avenues. It's kind of like, okay, I can't do this, but now I can do these other 3 things.
Right.
These jobs fired me or laid me off, but wait, I'm going to start doing my hobby as my job. It's silver lining, but some people don't have the lining to be silver.
Yeah, something will come out of this, and I just hope we all get through it. I mean, I give it, hopefully, again, by the spring, early summer, we're going to come out of this.
These things help. I'm used to seeing you guys every week. God knows how many times I've crossed paths in the subway system. It's like, oh, hey, Bayroff, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Times Square. Oh, I'm going up to New York. Where are you? Oh, I'm going down to Greenwich. Hey, how'd that set go the other night, Pudge? Oh, it sucked, or it was great, whatever. Seeing that, to me, getting out of my day job and seeing my nighttime coworkers, that's the action. That's where it's at.
We took everything. We took people for granted. We took each other for granted. We took an open mic for granted. The little shitty, crappy open mic that I used to go to because I felt comfortable, and it was there every Tuesday or whatever, every Friday, and it's gone. And it's like, fuck.
That's why I keep my mic open on Sundays. Well, your mic.
Yeah.
I took over at the stand. Right. I brought it over, and I call it the unsanitized open mic Sunday at 1:00. So I was like, listen, and the stand didn't want it back. They never even got back to me to open it back up again at the new Union Square. So I said, you know what? People are home. Let me do a free mic for everybody so I get to see everyone.
Yeah.
It's been going strong since I think June or so.
You doing it on Zoom?
On Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. Unsanitized open mic. We got a lot of good people. Every once in a while we got some pros coming in. We got a lot of, newer comics, younger comics come in. Yeah, Josh, take everything for granted. I don't take soap for granted. Soap, when I'm down to one bar, it's like, oh man, I'm going to cherish this one bar.
I think we're going to come out of this better. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, especially emotionally, mentally, a little stronger. We're definitely going to, at least I think most of us are. I mean, some of us are going to, hit some walls. It's going to be a long winter. It's going to be a tough winter.
Oh, it's going to be, especially for the gregarious types, the ones that need to be around people, be dependent on people, or just like me. It's like, hey, Pudge, let's go get a drink. You in the city? It's like, get some food. It's like, oh no, things close at noon. and I can't be on Upper East Side because I'm from Queens, and the Gestapo are going to come. And I see people outside eating dinner in those little huts with the heater with their gloves
Yeah.
on. Yeah, it's insane. I hope we're going to come out of it better. Yeah, and if hopefully we do, but we'll have a lot of projects done. We'll have a lot of things ticked off our to-do list. Even
Yeah.
things that we didn't have on our to-do list are going to get done.
Yeah, like I said, tomorrow I got an appointment with my website. I got the artwork for a couple of podcasts I want to roll out. I'm
Nice.
working on trying to figure out the audio and the video for the podcast
Nice.
because I don't know where I'm going to shoot it because I want video. Maybe I'll do it out of my car.
Pudge Park.
Huh?
Park podcast. Boom.
Pudge Park?
Pudge in the Park podcast.
I know. I actually thought about, because I bought this banner for the house, and I thought about buying one for the podcast. That way I can film anywhere, like a park. It's just a matter of the weather.
Of course.
But I'm considering it because I don't have a studio yet. So I'm thinking maybe making it mobile in my car, or maybe, a park.
Hey,
and I'll just bring a banner.
People won't even know. You can have your own studio with a green screen, and people won't even know you're still in your apartment.
I never thought of that. That could be an option.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Well, it's not as far as me. It's just bringing a guest on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm right. So or I might have to start out the podcast via Zoom with just like this with the split screen.
Yeah.
And the first.
You could. I mean, it's the winter coming up, but you can maybe find something. You do 6 feet or something like that. You have masks. I don't know. There's always a way.
Well, I did 6 feet, 6 questions in the beginning during the first break. It's on my YouTube channel. Hot Pudge Sunday, by the way, is my YouTube channel.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, that was fun. 6 feet, 6 questions. I did like a dozen episodes, I think, 15 episodes, and maybe I'll do it again during this for the winter. I don't know.
We all need entertainment.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be doing it. I didn't think there'd be a season 2 of 6 feet, 6 questions. I guess I might as well do it. Maybe not this, especially a shutdown.
Yeah.
I'll come. In the second season, I'll come visit you. I'll do all the comedians I didn't do in the first season.
Done.
So yeah.
You can have Lance bomb you. Lance Weiss. You can have. Yeah, you know it, Lance. We are the hot ticket, my friend.
The hottest feet going on. He's just jealous. Anyway, so it's gonna be interesting. A couple of weeks left before we get out of here. New Year's resolutions. Dare I ask you?
My resolution is get the books out. Get the books out. My resolution is to get onto someone's radar for my books. Radio, TV, get it out there into a larger audience. I just have goals. Get the one man done, get the TV pilot done, get Midpoint out there, get Harvest out there. Just keep on pushing stuff. And you know what? Help anyone I can. Help like you, Pete, Lance, help anyone I can in the new year.
We'll do coffee in my car.
I'll bring
coffee. Yeah, you'll bring the pastries. I'll bring the coffee. And that's going to be the thing. Now we can't have coffee or beer or eat. Now we got to just on wheels. We got a rolling wheel.
A coffee and a pastry, man. You're talking my speed.
Some shit, man. But yeah, as far as my resolution, not even just continue to work. Just continue to work. Just continue to move forward. My to-do list, slowly but surely. I guess my first broadcast of anything was, I think, April or May. But that'll be like the 1 year anniversary that I actually started working on this stuff. So when I hit that 1 year, I want to have everything almost done, if not complete. You know what I'm saying? With the YouTube, and the Instagram, and I don't know, maybe get on TikTok. That's the new thing the kids are doing.
That's frightening.
And yeah, just continue to work. Just chip away. Like you said, I don't have to hit the center of the dartboard, but I'm going to fucking bombard all the outside.
All those outside colors are going to be completely filled with darts.
That's basically just keep working and moving forward.
Well, if I can help you with the publishing stuff, let me know.
Oh, I got some questions. Absolutely. We're definitely going to hook up over the winter. Definitely. Absolutely. So let's get out of here. Andrew Ian Bayroff. Gracias.
Thank you. If you guys want, I can text it here. You can go to andrewstandingup.com. That's my comedy. And my published books are my books.
And how many books do you have?
I have 3 books on the site.
3 books on the site. And what's your latest book?
What's that? Midpoint?
Midpoint.
Midpoint is my novel, Small Town, Big Secrets. I got Check Please, comical stories about dating and the horrible things we say to each other, and Pushing the Hack.
Pushing the Hack.
Stories from a 103-year-old taxi driver.
Well, that one I definitely want.
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
All right, cool.
My friend,
cool.
To everyone listening, thank you so much. We'll be in touch, man.
Thank you, man. I'll see you soon. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Happy holidays.
You too. Bye.
Andrew Ian Bayroff, everybody. Wow, that was a long one, and that was great. I love insight. I love to learn. I love to talk to other comedians. I hope other comedians are watching, because this is the only way we're going to get through this is together. And I know I'm not the only one. Andrew's not the only one. We all have our little personal projects. So, hey, stay in touch. Reach out to Andrew. Reach out to me. Reginald Ferguson recently hit me up because he was doing an Instagram live. He wanted to do one, and he had no fucking clue. And he wanted to contact me because he saw me, and here I am giving him advice. And he just had it. It went great, and that's how it should be done. So yes, not everybody knows everything. I sure as hell don't, especially with the technology. But little by little, I'm learning, and I'm willing to share. So yes, this was a very good episode. Thank you again to Andrew Ian Bayroff. Definitely going to have him back on again. Definitely going to have him on my podcast in the future. Shout out to everybody who's been watching with the hearts, the likes, and a couple of middle fingers. That's okay. And don't forget, if you want to see this episode from the beginning or any other episode, go to Hot Pudge Sunday. Hot Pudge Sunday is my YouTube channel. You have the IG Live Season 1, Season 2, the second lockdown, and some stand-up comedy and a couple of other little knickknacks, patty whack, give a dog a bone. All right, Hot Pudge Sunday is the YouTube channel. This is Hot Pudge IG Live. My name is Pudge Fernandez. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.